Hello everybody, my name is Joe, and today I just wanted to show you around a free-to-play racing game that I found called Autoclub Revolution. So, I'm a big racing game fan, and ever since I've moved to PC, I've had a big hole in my heart, because one of my favourite racing games, Forza Motorsport, is unfortunately only available on Xbox 360. Now, this means that not only can I not play one of my favourite games of all time, but I struggle very much to find another racing game that can replace it that I like as much. So, Autoclub Revolution is one of the games that I tried when I was looking around for a Forza replacement. Now, Autoclub Revolution, as I mentioned in the introduction, is a free-to-play game, which means that it is quite different from Forza and quite different from most other racing games. So I'm first just going to quickly put a disclaimer. The business model for this game, which I know that a lot of you will be very concerned about as soon as I say free-to-play, is not too horrendous. Pretty much every car in the game can be purchased with in-game currency, which you earn by winning races. Now, some of the cars are quite expensive, but after playing this game for maybe an hour, I can already buy another car. So I'm currently using the default car that you get right at the beginning, which is the Opel Corsa, or the Vauxhall Corsa. I have upgraded it quite a lot, and that means that I am overtaking and beating some ridiculous cars here. Now, this is one very strange thing about this game. I'm not going particularly quickly around this track, but I'm still overtaking an SLR McLaren here. I am beating him quite easily. Now, it would be understandable if I was perhaps going round the corners faster than him because I had better traction and I'd upgraded my car very handling oriented, because I haven't added any turbo, I haven't really fiddled with the engine that much because you can't. But I do seem to be able to outperform on the corners to such an extent that he can't even keep up with me on the straights afterwards, which is odd. I went in another car, I got a free rental of a vehicle, and it was immediately obvious that car was faster in a straight line than this one, even though I hadn't upgraded that one. And that car is definitely not as fast as an SLR McLaren, so I don't really know what's going on. I suspect it's really easy AI. So I am playing against AI here, and they are abysmal. So that is the first thing. The AI, yeah. I would say that this is a multiplayer only game, because there is no point racing against the AI because they are just that terrible. Now, the multiplayer is a big component. There are these things called auto clubs, which you can join, which give you specific bonuses for being in an auto club. I'm not actually in one, so I don't know much about them. But you can be in an auto club. You can race with the people in that, or you can just do random matchmaking. You can find random people to play with. I did a multiplayer race yesterday. It was extremely fun. What they did was there was a lobby of about 8 people, and it split it up into smaller races. So I was in a race with 3 people, and I won it by a long way. But then when it came back to the overall thing, it compared everybody's total race time, and I was only 3rd, which is kind of interesting, because even though you're in a race and the people that you're against might not necessarily be that good, when it comes to the overall standings, even though you won by 1,000,000 miles, you might not have won at all overall, which means that you've really got to push in those races no matter who you're against. And I really like that. I think that is quite interesting. Now, obviously, I would prefer it if everybody was in one race, but I'm guessing it's something to do with the networking code that prevents them from having big races, which is why they split it up like that. Now, the most obvious thing that you will notice when coming into this game is the graphics. They are pretty decent. I would probably compare them to Gran Turismo 5 from what I've played of that game. If you are driving one of the what they call premium cars or whatever, one of the cars that doesn't have a cockpit view and things like that. So no, this game does not have a cockpit view, and this game is not all shiny like Forza, but the main reason why I would say the graphics are better than Forza is simply because anti-aliasing. I cannot play Forza anymore. When I've played on it, at my friend's house, I went on Forza 3 a few weeks ago, and it just looks horrendous because every single edge of everything is all jaggedy and stuff. But that problem is not in this game. So don't worry, if you are coming into this game, it is not like Forza in that sense. But the graphics are pretty decent. However, the most important thing, the handling. Now the handling is quite similar to Forza in that it's quite understeery. You don't get very much. I mean, I know I'm in a front-wheel drive car here, but I have driven rear-wheel drive cars, and they're still not very oversteery. They're very much, if you go too fast into a corner, you can't just like slam your foot on the accelerator and slide it at all. You just understeer into a wall, which in some ways is good because it means that you've got to be really precise with your driving, and it puts more emphasis on braking, but it makes it feel a bit unrealistic and also makes it a bit too easy to overtake AI. So that is one major downside of Autoclub Revolution. So another major downside of Autoclub Revolution is the fact that it is browser based. So when you leave a race, once you've finished, you don't go back to the main menu, you go back to your browser and you select what you want to do from there. So you can select a new race, you can look at all your challenges and things like that. You can go to your Autoclub section and you can look at all the auto clubs that there are. You can look at things like leaderboards, you can manage your profile and things like that. You can upgrade your car, you can also paint it and put different liveries on it and things like that. So there is that customization similar to Forza. You can also buy new cars, which I mentioned before. They're not that expensive, they're pretty reasonably priced. The Bugatti Veyron is about £8 if you were to buy it with real money, and in-game it would take you quite a long time to unlock it, but then again, it should take you quite a long time to get a Bugatti Veyron. So this is not like a free-to-play shooter. In a shooter, every gun is supposed to be a side grade. You're supposed to have guns that are similar in their effectiveness, but different in their role. So, a sniper rifle should be much better at range than an assault rifle, but nowhere near as good up close. And vice versa. But in a racing game, a Bugatti Veyron is just better than an Opel Corsa. So you would imagine that a Bugatti Veyron would be quite expensive. And it is, which is fair enough. Now, upgrades are very cheap. This could just be because I am only driving a Corsa, and the upgrades that are available for a Corsa are pretty cheap, but the ones that I bought were, I think I spent 6,000 credits. So the cheapest car that you can buy is, I believe, 8,000. So considering that I can now, beat SLR McLarens, as I mentioned, that is pretty ridiculous. So there is like a performance rating for cars, and it tells you, relative to other cars in and outside of your class, how well that car would perform. And I think my course is 444, which is pretty high. I think there is some balancing that needs to be done with the upgrades and some improvement of the AI that needs to be made in order to make, upgrades a little bit more balanced. But at the moment, they're fun, but it's definitely not a particularly competitive game. So if you've tried Autoclub Revolution and you've got any opinions to add, please post in the comment section below. If you want to see more racing game footage from me, please also tell me in the comments below. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and if you have done so, hopefully I will see you all next time.